So guys, today's video is going to be a little different and unique. This video is very close to my heart and I wanted to make this video since a long time, and it's finally here. It's about 5 teachings from one of my most favorite books, Bhagavad Gita. The teachings from this book had really helped me in my preparation, and according to me, every student must read this book so that he can apply these teachings in his preparation. And I would sincerely recommend you to read this book, obviously post your exams. So till your exams, the teachings which I am going to tell you right now are going to be enough. So let's begin. Teaching number 1, chapter 2, verse 14, and here it goes. The non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and the disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. In the proper discharge of duty, one has to learn to tolerate non-permanent appearances and disappearances of happiness and distress. So in this verse, Lord Krishna asks us to tolerate. By giving examples of winters and summers, he gives examples like in winters, in spite of being so cold, a man does not hesitate even one bit to take a bath in spite of being so cold. Likewise, in the summer season, that is in the summer months, a woman doesn't hesitate one bit to cook in the kitchen. So basically, what do we learn from this? That we need to learn how to tolerate and not get affected by our external environment. There is going to be hectic internship. You know, for ICC, that is internship completion certificate, so many days will go. There is going to be news of postponement. There is going to be so much uncertainty. But do we get affected by all this? No. We need to learn how to tolerate and discharge our duty. And our duty is to study. Hectic internship is always going to be hectic. But instead of, I have seen so many people that after a hectic internship day, they just come home and they give up. They say, "Kyare, kal se padhenge." So that is what you're not supposed to do. In spite of having a hectic internship, you're supposed to come home, and for those 2 to 3 hours, you are supposed to utilize those 2 to 3 hours. You are supposed to tolerate your hectic internship and do what you're supposed to do. Your duty is to study for the examination, and you must do it. Teaching number 2, chapter 2, verse 38. Here it goes. Do fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by doing so, you shall never incur sin. Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjun should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. So what do we learn from this? That in our battle, we don't need to think what is going to happen at the end of it, what is going to be the result of it. That all is not in our hands. Why waste our time thinking about it? Why should we get anxious thinking about it every single day? Rather, we need to be calm and composed, and we need to surrender ourselves to Lord Krishna. And he tells us that we need to fight because that's our duty. So the result of this battle is not in our hands. But what is in our hands is our hard work. So my friends, stop thinking about victory and defeat and fight. Fight because that is your duty. Teaching number 3, chapter 2, verse 56. Here it goes. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. Verse 57. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Yes, this is a little difficult to follow because let's just accept it that it's very human to feel what we feel. I totally agree. But we can use this verse to control our reaction. Don't you think that we react a lot? That any news we hear, good or bad, we tend to react in greater proportion to what the news is. Like say for example, even if in one GT we get a low score, we start extrapolating it and we say, NEET to ab had se hi gayi. Any postponement, rumor or news we hear, we're like, ab kya ho gaya? Ab kya hoga? We are in that uncertainty. Uncertainty is ruling our mind. And this is totally wrong, don't you feel? So the next time you hear such news, take some time to think. Don't rush and react. Take some time to think and think that how is it going to affect me? what are the possible ways in which I can tackle the situation? And after every news, you need to stay calm. And once you know the answer, that how you will be able to tackle the problem, you are a sage of steady mind. Teaching number 4, chapter 6, verse 16. Here it goes. There is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. So regarding eating, I think you all know what's best for you, so I won't really get into that. But sleep, yes, I would really like to bring that topic in right now. I would like to give you an example, a practical example that I had experimented it myself. So 2 months before my exam, I thought that I need to give my best shot. So, I reduced my sleep time, and that was a very, very bad move on my side. Because what used to happen is, I reduced my sleep time. So I used to feel sleepy when that this was my normal sleep time and this is what my new sleep time was. So in this much time, though, I used to feel sleepy. That was but obvious. I mean, I thought that okay, hoga. But what also happened that because my sleep time was reduced, so in the morning, when my attention and my concentration span had to be the maximum, at that time also I used to feel very sleepy. And I used to take a lot of time to read the same thing which I'd already read. So basically, the consequences of this were really bad. So I really want you all to learn from this example and try to get enough sleep for yourself right now. So you sacrifice anything. You sacrifice your hobbies, you sacrifice your social media, you sacrifice your playtime, you sacrifice anything. But please don't sacrifice sleep. And not only now, that even 1 week before your exam, you need to sleep enough so that your mind has to be recharged. Your mind has to be, the attention has to be, the laser focus has to be there, and that will only be possible with enough sleep. 5th teaching, chapter 6, verse 6. For him who has conquered the mind is the best friend. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. One who cannot control his mind lives always with the greatest enemy, and thus his life and his mission are spoiled. And this verse I had also mentioned in my postponement video, that your mind is your greatest friend when you control it, and it's your worst enemy when it controls you. So what do we understand by this? That because of all these news and the postponement news and the rumors, you let your mind control yourself. You let your mind react. You let uncertainty rule your mind, and your mind was ruling you. And this is absolutely wrong. So the next time, whenever you hear such news about postponement or any such rumor, you need to be in charge of your mind. You don't have to let your mind react. You need to have to think. You need to tell your mind to think that how is it going to affect you? मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा ये news से? That is what you have to think. So basically, you need to control your mind. So in the end, this is what I really wanted to share with you all guys. And if you really liked it, please share it with your friends because I'm sure it will benefit them. And as far as NEETPG is concerned, please watch my videos from the playlist Strategy to Crack NEETPG. You can click on the I and the link is also given in the description below. So keep working hard guys, keep working hard for your goal because कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. So all the very best guys, kill it.